And we're back. It's our very last family, and we are going to end with a bang. Possibly literally, but okay. So this is the percussion family, and it's kind of neat because the word percussion in Latin, it's called percussio, and it means to strike forcibly. So it makes a lot of sense that we would call this family the percussion family. Now, if you'll notice, we have our seating plan that you can see, and we've talked about the reason why the instruments are in this order is because these orchestras were created long before there was any type of electronic amplification. So you had to use the natural sound of these instruments, and therefore the quieter ones needed to be up front, the louder ones needed to be in the back. And if you can see what I can see, obviously the louder instruments are definitely part of the percussion family. So we're going to start with the common things that the percussion family has. You know, we talk about that it's a family because it has something in common. A percussion instrument, in order to play it, you strike it, you shake it, or you scrape it. Another person says you can rub it, or like the scraping can be a rubbing kind of thing. So either way, you can say either, but I like to say strike, shake, and scrape. Now, here's the deal. Percussion instruments, they can be tuned or untuned. That means that a tuned instrument can carry a pitch. I like to say it can play Mary Had a Little Lamb, and you can know that it's Mary Had a Little Lamb. If it's untuned or unpitched, it will play the note over and over. It will play its sound over and over. You will never hear Mary Had a Little Lamb on an unpitched or untuned percussion instrument. So keep that in mind. And I'm actually going to ask you a question in a minute, and whoever emails me first can earn a point on the Finale Friday project. Stay tuned. So, all right, here we go. Let's start with our percussion family. These are not all of the instruments in the percussion family. There are so many more, but these are a lot. And so I simply wanted to show you in here what they are. Okay, so here we are. We have the triangle, and this is what it sounds like. Now, you tell me, is that a pitched or an unpitched instrument? If you said unpitched, you are correct. It can't play Mary Had a Little Lamb. It can play the rhythm of it, but it cannot change its melody. So a triangle is not pitched. Let's go to the cymbals. Now, that also is an unpitched instrument. You can strike them and they create their sound. The next one is the chimes. I'll get the door. Mrs. Randlett's humor, tell you what. Anywho, tell me, is that a tuned or a pitched instrument? Yes, it can play Mary Had a Little Lamb. It would sound really funny being on the chimes, but it can play Mary Had a Little Lamb. Now we move on to this low row. Let's start with the snare drum. Pitched, unpitched, unpitched. In fact, if you ever get a chance to look at the bottom of a snare drum, it's actually got coils, like a really tight coil, and that's what you're hearing, that kind of vibrating sound. It's when you strike the drum that you hear that. All right, the next one. The bass drum, bass is lower, so it's obviously going to be a lower pitch. And it is not a pitched instrument. It is unpitched. It's untuned. You cannot play the melody of Mary Had a Little Lamb. Now, this next one, this is a timpani. I know a few people were like, I don't know what a timpani is. You may know it by its just more common name, kettle drum. Ever had kettle corn? It's made into a drum similar like this. So, right, so the kettle drum, also known as the timpani, it has a really cool pedal right here. And this pedal changes the pitch of the drum. So if it changes the pitch, I wonder if it's a pitched or unpitched instrument. Let's find out. All right, it is a pitched instrument. It may not, play a solo of Mary Had a Little Lamb all the time, but it can. It's potentially able to do that. So yes, a timpani is a pitched instrument. Here's another one. It's called the xylophone. It has the same letter that starts its name as Savior. How cool is that? I always think xylophones have such a happy sound. They're just a happy instrument. That just makes me happy too. So anyway, now we're to our special game, I should say. I am going to play an instrument, and I'm going to tell you what the name of the instrument is, but you need to tell me whether that instrument is pitched or unpitched. All right, so here we go. The name of the instrument is the rhythm sticks. All right, so you can email me. The first person to email me whether that is a pitched or unpitched instrument will earn 1 point on your Finale Friday project. All right, we have a few more. I want to touch base on this last thing. It's a keyboard or a piano. And I wanted to make sure you understood that I consider them percussion instruments because when you strike the keys, that's what makes the sound. Now these in particular, you've heard a piano before, obviously. That's really pretty. So a piano is a percussion instrument. Now I wanted you to hear these other two. We'll be studying this one a lot more. You'll be hearing its music much more. But here's a celesta. Reminds me of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, not gonna lie. Tell you what. And here is the harpsichord. That was the precursor to the piano, obviously. Something I do want you to see is if you look at the keys of the piano, they are white. You look at the keys of the harpsichord, they are a different color. What color are they? They're black. It's an inversion. What's black on the piano is white on the harpsichord, and what's white on the harpsichord is black on the piano. Kind of cool, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, that is our final family, and I hope you've had fun because I have. I'll talk to you soon.